Hi, I'm Shayna Galen, and this is Luna here, my new kitten playing with my hair. It's Friday, so it must be time for a video, and I wanted to start a new series. Hopefully, you tuned into my last series, which was about the French Revolution and coincided with the release of my book Traitor in Her Arms. And I thought I would do this series on the Regency period and also kind of tie it into the release of Third Sons of Charm, which will be out November 7th. Now, I do not have a copy of that to show you because I've given all of them away. But I'll put a picture of it in the comment section because it's such a beautiful book that I would love for you to be able to see the cover if you haven't seen it already. So I will be talking about things to do with the Regency era terms and people and places and all of that. But I also wanted to talk specifically about different elements that I include in Third Sons of Charm and other books that I've written. But I thought I would start the series today by just talking generally about my writing process because I'm actually asked a lot of questions about how I write and what my process is. And so I thought I'd talk about that first. So, the way I usually answer a question about how I write is I say I'm a pantser. And there are generally two types of writers. And of course, there's many people who are in between these two types. It's not a black or white thing. Um, and they are the plotters and the pantsers. And plotters tend to like to know everything before they start writing. And pantsers are more the sort of writers who want to write by the seat of their pants. We don't generally do outlines. We don't know how the book is going to end. We may know a few scenes about the book or a little bit about the book, but we don't know that much. And I'm very much a pantser. I may just know the opening scene of the book or some scene in the middle of the book, and I just go ahead and sit down when I've have the time to get started on the book, or when when my beginning date is whatever date I've decided that is to be, and I just start writing, and I let the book kind of take me where it will, which is has its advantages and disadvantages. And an advantage is, of course, that I'm kind of reading the book as I'm writing it, which is a fun way to write. Disadvantage is that I often write myself into a corner, or I write something that later doesn't necessarily work, and so then I have to kind of do a lot of revision. So that's how I write a book. I don't necessarily plot it. I've written over 30 books now, so I have a pretty good feel for length of a book and hitting different elements in a book, conflicts and black moments and resolution and stuff. So I'm able to do a lot of that just intuitively now. But I didn't always have that ability. My first few books that I wrote were very, very long books, like 150,000 words, because I just didn't really know when to stop writing. So I've certainly learned from that. And when I wrote Third Sons of Charm, I pretty much wrote it just like all my other books. I knew that I had wanted to begin with a scene where the hero and heroine meet, because she is chasing her dog who gets away and is almost hit by a carriage. This was based on something that actually happened to me. I was walking my daughter to school with our dog, and she wanted to hold the Sparky's leash, and she let go of Sparky, and Sparky ran across this. Sorry, Sparky ran across the street, and I had to chase Sparky, and Sparky I basically was almost hit by a car, which was, of course, a very dumb thing for me to do. But I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking, oh my gosh, I got to get the dog. So I wanted to start the book that way. So that was basically all I knew about the book. There was going to be a hero, and there were going to be a heroine, and she was going to have a dog, and he was going to, knock her out of the way of a carriage that was racing toward her dog. And so that was pretty much what I knew, and I started from there. And then, of course, if you read the book, you'll see that there are more scenes before that scene. So as I revised, I added other things in and developed the characters more and so on. And that's a very natural process that most writers go through. So that is basically my process for writing a book: is sit down 5 days a week and write 2,500 words until the book is done. And then I go back and I revise it, and then it goes to the editor and I do more revision, and so on and so on. And so that is my first video for you for this series. And next week I thought I would talk a little bit about where the idea for Third Sons of Charm came from, and how some of my friends, like Sophie Jordan and some of my reader friends as well, helped me come up with ideas for this series because, none of us really work um, alone. No man is an island, and I certainly had always have a lot of help in coming up with ideas for any series. So, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next week, and we'll chat about where the idea for Third Sense of Charm came from.